Ava's creator, Ano, said he was still working on the new Asuka short until 6 a.m., the morning of the first screening. But then a shaky phone recording of it leaked online almost immediately. And Studio Kara, Ano's company, and a lot of fans were pissed. I saw the new Ava short on opening day at the Ava 30 event, and from reactions online, it seems a lot of people are confused about it. So today, I'm going to break down what it showed, and also what I think it meant. I also want to talk about all the crazy drama surrounding this short, because fans like me paid thousands of yen to see it on opening day. So was it fair that it leaked online? If you hadn't heard, for Ava's 30th anniversary, there was a huge event in Japan where this new short film, starring Best Girl Asuka, was shown. It was only supposed to be shown to attendees, like myself, who traveled and paid to see it. So once the video was leaked, Kara sent out requests, asking people to take down the recordings. And while doing that, someone at Kara messed up badly, accidentally uploading the Asuka short in 4K, which meant they didn't just now have a shaky phone recording. People suddenly had the full 4K short. When Kara realized they really couldn't sue everyone and they messed up badly, they officially released the short themselves. Some people wonder if this was done on purpose, but we'll probably never know. But there's even more chaos. During all of this, people were posting the most insane clickbait titles, like Asuka and Shinji get married in the new short. And as someone who had actually seen the video on opening day, I felt like rolling my eyes into the back of my skull until I perished. Because this is just not true. Then there were people saying that the short shows that Asuka rejects Shinji forever, and this is also not true. I mean, I get it, I make content too, but I don't clickbait people like that. So let's get to the most important question. Is this short canon? And the answer is actually complicated. Usually canon just means something that the creators themselves made as part of the story, and by that definition, yeah, this short is canon, but not in the way people online seem to think. So to explain this, I want to quickly recap what happens in the short and break down what I think this means for Evangelion. Because structurally, Evangelion has done something like this before. The short starts off with Asuka Soryu doing manzai comedy with Rebuild World Asuka Shikinami. Manzai is a comedy style from Osaka where you have the straight man, the tsukomi, who argues with the silly bokeh. Here Soryu plays the tsukomi, while Shikinami is the bokeh. So the two Asukas bicker in Osaka dialect like a classic manzai duo. Also, Soryu's uniform gives off that serious tsukomi vibe, while Shikinami's bow tie is a direct reference to manzai comedy. In the tsukomi role, Soryu basically asks, "Where's my happy ending? What about me?" From here, Shikinami plays the bokeh and shows her a series of different what-if worlds, essentially forcing Asuka to work through her inner conflict. We see different versions of Asuka in different possible worlds. And structurally, this is very similar to Shinji's congratulations ending. In the original Evangelion TV series, specifically episodes 25 and 26, we see Shinji working through his inner conflicts during instrumentality. As a reminder, instrumentality is when everyone's minds are smashed together, erasing individuality as a way to escape loneliness, and it turns into a giant therapy session where characters confront their trauma. Some people seem to write the entire Asuka short off as a joke, and while it is very funny, I think they're forgetting Shinji's original congratulations ending had plenty of silly moments too. Famously, in the English dub, Rei even calls Shinji's you-know-what a baloney pony, and somehow this is both the best and worst translation of all time. So let's not pretend that Evangelion has never been weird or silly before. Just because it's silly doesn't mean it's not canon. Also, Ano's name is right there in the credits, and even Ano himself said he considers it to be the fourth ending to Evangelion. So that pretty much settles it in my eyes. Although fans still argue about what he actually meant by that. But I guess Evangelion wouldn't be Evangelion without people arguing about what Ano actually means. Now, one of the big things that people started saying online was that this short shows Asuka completely rejects Shinji. Yes, I see you with your Kaoru profile pictures, specifically saying this. But this is not true. What Asuka rejects in the short is instrumentality, not Shinji. She rejects a fake happy world, because she wants to strive for real happiness and not just be handed some fairy tale ending. And honestly, the fact that Shinji is such a huge part of Asuka's inner conflict really shows how much she has always been hung up on him. And if she didn't care deeply about Shinji, he wouldn't be the main character of her instrumentality sequence. So the fact that Asuka imagines an entire life with Shinji, even a version where she gets married to him, really shows how important he is to her. That's not just something you do with someone you don't care about. And I know some people like to joke or mischaracterize Asuka as just a crazy, and she can be, but she's also a traumatized 14-year-old. Another interesting detail is that Asuka Shikinami, who openly admits she likes Shinji in the Rebuild movies, is basically trying to open the heart of Asuka Soryu, who was way more closed off in the original series. And underneath all the comedy, it really feels like Shikinami is helping Soryu work through her feelings, like an instrumentality therapist. In the end, Asuka chooses her own version of happiness, saying she wants to keep piloting and protect everyone. That's very different from Shinji in the Rebuilds, who ultimately chooses a peaceful world without the Evas. It's all super meta, and honestly, super fun to watch. So personally, I think the short is basically Asuka's version of the congratulations ending. It's her working through her feelings and choosing to keep moving forward. Just to get my biases out of the way, yes, I do like the Asuka and Shinji ship, but I will always think they need therapy and to grow up first. Like, I don't think 14-year-old Shinji and Asuka should date, let me get that clear. And honestly, I also like the Shinji Kaoru ship as well. Heck, even Asuka's Japanese voice actor likes Shinji and Kaoru as a ship, so we can all be friends. Honestly, I've never really been into shipping wars. People just get too heated. Anyways, since the short shows both versions of Asuka from different Evangelion timelines, it probably isn't happening at any specific point in the story. The whole short is like a mental space where Asuka works through her feelings. I mean, maybe someone smarter than me can explain it better, but that's how I understood it. So why does this Asuka short even exist? Like, why did we get the Asuka congratulations ending now? I think the simplest answer is this was a thank you to the fans. The Manzai comedy stage framing also makes it feel like we're literally watching the characters perform at the 30th anniversary event. It even begins with Manzai and ends with a full musical performance. The final shots even show the Eva 30 crowd in front of the Eva characters performing, which feels like both a nod to the original series and a reminder that this is all staged, like a performance. The short is beautifully animated and packed with inside jokes for fans who love the series, like Asuka doing this Kaoru pose, and many more. It even shows Asuka and Shinji's fairy tale ending, growing up together, getting married, and even having a daughter. I think Ano knows that a lot of his fans always wanted to see that. I feel like a teenage me was waiting my whole life to see this. So it also felt a little bittersweet, because there are basically two ways to interpret this short. The negative way is thinking that Ano was trolling us until the very end. Like, take that, you dumb Shinji Asuka fans, you dopes. Or in the positive way, which is honestly how I see it. This short feels like Ano's final little touch on Evangelion. The Eva 30 event, along with this short film, felt like a thank you to the fans who have followed the series for all these years. The most obvious example of this is the last scene in the short. That is a message from Ano. It says, "With gratitude for the past 30 years, thank you." And yeah, I say it was a thank you, but the event definitely wasn't cheap for the fans attending, and probably not for Studio Kata either. So originally, this short was meant for fans who traveled and paid to see it at Eva 30, which is also why I think Studio Kata was so angry when the video leaked online. Many fans on Japanese Twitter were angry as well, with some people saying that foreign fans do not respect animation studios, which honestly makes me sad as I'm a foreign fan. Honestly, I probably need to just stay off of Japanese Twitter. Anyways, Kata may have planned to release this or monetize the short eventually, but the leak basically forced them to post it. And while that might feel like a win for fans who didn't get to go to the event, it still doesn't sit totally right with me. Because if you think about it seriously, this short was the result of a lot of hard work from the people at Studio Kata. But at the same time, I can imagine the position of fans outside of Japan too. I remember growing up, living in Canada, when Netflix and streaming anime just didn't exist. I had dreamt about seeing certain anime movies or going to Japan just to experience events like this. But realistically, not everyone can just fly across the world for one weekend. The world is so much more connected now, and while exclusivity can feel a little cool at times, I'd much rather everyone be able to experience all of Evangelion. Basically, I wish this short could have been released in a way that benefited Studio Kara more and on their terms, because the people who make these shows deserve to be respected and supported. But sometimes the reality is, lots of fans may want to support something, but they aren't given an easy way to do that. And with something like Evangelion, that has hardcore fans all over the world, situations like this become very complicated. Anyways, Evangelion has always been about rejecting fantasy and choosing reality, and this short shows us that again through Asuka's eyes. It wasn't some major change to the timeline. It reinforces Asuka's complicated feelings towards Shinji, but mostly it just feels like one last little moment with these characters for the fans. It's a weird, emotional, slightly confusing Evangelion goodbye, which honestly feels perfect for Eva. But let me know what you think. What do you think about the leak? Do you think this short is canon? And where do you think it fits into Evangelion? Especially considering we know Eva isn't actually over. During the Eva 30 event, where this short was shown, a whole brand new Evangelion anime was announced. And I made a full video explaining what we know about it and why Studio Kara is making a new series. So if you want a deep dive into the new anime, check out this video next. I'm also working on a full Eva 30 experience video because I really want to share what it was like with as many Evangelion fans as possible. Anyways, thanks for listening to me ramble about Eva for so long. I super appreciate it. If you like this kind of video, please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!